If I told you guys that I had $30,000 in credit card debt, would anyone think to say that I should be for that? Probably not, right? Well, when you share stories like I share, a $30,000 debt in the drug world is a very different thing, and that's what we're going to talk about today. What's up, you guys? Welcome back. If you are new here, hi, my name is Jess. I'm a person in long-term recovery who has in fact been to prison. It's not a flex, it's just a fact. If you want to follow me on any other social media platform, TikTok, Instagram, Patreon, I can't say that's only $2 anymore because it's not $2. And it has not been just $2 everywhere this entire time. And I'm just now realizing that. In Canada, it's $3. So in different countries, it's more. So I'm sorry. I don't know how to fix it. All of that is linked down below, as well as my vlog channel, my Facebook page, Spotify, all of the things, including my merch. It's all in the place where the stuff is, down there. Please remember to like the video and subscribe if you have not already. But without further ado, let's kick this thing off. I have not told a story from my past like this in a very long time. So what has inspired it today? Well, I'll tell you. TikTok and Facebook too, they don't forget anything, and they remind you on this day 3 years ago you posted this video. So I'm gonna have to take the music off of it, but I'm gonna play for you the TikTok that I made and then reposted. It was originally filmed in 2021 and I reposted it the other day. So that is a very lighthearted way of saying that I owed a drug dealer $30,000. Now, this TikTok is obviously like, I'll never forget you. got a scar, you know, and then my boyfriend came and put a gun in my face, and, you know, I was late for the re-up. So I'm just saying I'll never forget you, and I'm flipping them off, you know, and the comment section, as per usual, when I talk about this kind of thing, is just filled with people, mostly men, telling me that I should have been shot. When I originally posted it in 2021, I had men telling me that they would do all kinds of things to me because of that money. That's the hard thing about talking about addiction specifically, because there's this stigma, right? And for some reason, people believe that they have the right to tell you that you deserve to die because of a drug debt. But if that was credit card debt, you would never say that to somebody. We're talking about debt though, right? Credit card debt, drug debt, it's money. So telling me that I needed to be shot, even raped, that is just so unhinged and so messed up. And that is the struggle that content creators in these niches deal with when we're talking about stuff like this. I mean, I've even seen like gardening videos, people saying vile things, but this triggers so many people to say things like this to me every time I talk about it. And I've told plenty of stories about this person. I've also told stories with my ex and what he experienced from his perspective. There's been a lot of stories about this time in my life because it was when my addiction was really bad. Really, really bad. You know, there's a lot of bad things happening that I take full accountability for. I am so far removed from that life that it's crazy. Like, I'm 13 years out of this addiction and the chaos that was involved in it, you know? And I know that I say in every single video that I'm in long-term recovery, but I am. I'm just not in the recovery community because it can be a really toxic place. Can be. Not always. A lot of the people that say they're for all pathways, they're really only for their pathway, which is usually abstinence. I've even seen people on medically assisted treatment talking shit about cannabis. Like, it's absolutely crazy. When I say that I'm for all pathways, I mean that. When I tell you that I love you, even if you're still in active addiction, I mean that shit. I believe in harm reduction. I believe in whatever works for you. We're all different. I believe in Cali sober. I believe in all of the different ways, you know, even, you know, being an addict to one thing and then recreationally using something else like alcohol. I don't care. Whatever you do in your life, I'm never going to judge you. And it's really none of my fucking business to ask you what your pathway is. So anyway, when I look back to this time in my life, obviously it is absolutely crazy. And I made a lot of bad mistakes. You know, there's absolutely nothing gangster about being a drug dealer and being a gun dealer and going to prison and all of those things. There's nothing cool about it. That's not gangster. What is gangster is completely changing my life and doing something positive with my life. What is gangster is being sober. What is gangster is being a mother to my children. What is gangster is the fact that my parents don't have to go to sleep afraid that they're going to get that phone call in the middle of the night saying that I did not make it. There is obviously an entertainment factor to what I do. This is social media, right? So sometimes I share ridiculous little videos, and this one popped up on my feed the other day, and I'm like, oh dang, I filmed this in 2021. That's crazy. So let me just repost it. And I did. And just like in 2021, the comments were absolutely unhinged. I had multiple people, just like in 2021, tell me that they would do so much worse to me. I turned off the comments on Instagram, and of course that leads to people commenting on other posts. But in my career, like 6 years, maybe longer, the amount of videos that I've turned the comments off on, a handful, maybe. And I've made hundreds of videos. This topic though gets people crazy. Like they get so mad at me, and you would never tell somebody that they deserve to be shot and killed over a credit card debt. But when it's a drug addict, a drug dealer, then I deserve to be shot. Like, come on, you guys. I'm going to share a little bit more about who this person is and my experience in this, in the fact that every single time I think about this person, it makes me absolutely sick to my stomach to think that he is serving life in prison for being a drug dealer. He has respect. He's not, he can walk the yard and everything is good. But what he should really be in prison for is sexual assault. So let me give you a little bit of a backstory about how I met this person and how they came into my life. If you have not seen those older videos, I would buy everything to sell. I wouldn't front anything to sell. That means, if I use it or I party or whatever, I don't make any money, that's on me. It's fine. I never wanted to work for someone else because of this exact reason. But an opportunity came my way. I was introduced to this person because this girl came to my house with him one night and she had owed me money. So she came there and she paid me back, and he saw that I had some stuff and I had some money, and his people, because she sold for him a little bit, his people were coming to me to pay me back, which means a couple of different things. She's in trouble, she's an addict, all that stuff. But this girl that came to my house that introduced me to him, she's a freaking gangster. And we weren't friends then, but we are friends now. She would beat the fucking brakes off of me, and I've seen the damage that she's done in fights. Like, this is not someone that I've ever seen scared. She's ruthless. And what's funny is she's my size, but she's tough. She's really tough. And, I've never seen her look so scared and just like really shaken up prior to that moment. A couple of weeks go by, I think, and I get a phone call from this person, and he tells me to meet him somewhere. And I already know what it is, like he had been asking around about me a little bit. My cousin had told me that. Now keep in mind, I'm from a freaking tiny town. Okay. If someone's asking about me, I was born and raised there, grew up there, I have a lot of family there, they're going to tell me like, hey, Jess, this person was asking about you. And I ended up meeting him, and he just threw in my lap a few stacks of heroin. So the way that it was packaged is there'd be 10 bundles in a stack, and there's 10 wax bags per bundle. That's how it was packaged back in the day. I don't know anything about anything now. It's just how we did it back then. And he's like, give me $5,000 for that. Well, I'm looking at it. I'm like, I could double this easily, and still have plenty of fun. So why is he giving me all this? And it sucks because around that same time, I had promised my roommate, my childhood friend, that I was going to quit that lifestyle. She had a regular job, and she isn't an addict, and she did not want me in that life because she always wanted what was best for me. And I totally understand that. I think the money was very difficult for me to turn down. And in this moment, I didn't. So long story short, I started selling for him. And there were a couple of different times where he would pick me up for a re-up, and he would also pick up another girl. One instance that comes to my mind just very vividly, like it was yesterday. He picks me up in a Chrysler 300. It tells me to get in the back of the seat, or in the back seat, not the front seat. And I do. And then we drive for a while, and he picks up another girl. And I had recognized her. I didn't know her very well, but I knew who she was. She gets in the front seat. She's scared to tell him that she's short. He tells her, I'll be back for you later. He gives her dope, and then she gets out of the car, and I'm like, oh, damn. I felt really bad for her. Well, I ended up going on the run in February of 2011 from some charges in New York. And the amount of people that told me that he was Actually assaulting them if they were short was absolutely insane. And me and a former friend of mine almost made this video because she had a lot of experience with the same person, but I'm not friends with the person anymore, and the video never came out. But I have shared my experience in dealing with this person, and if you're from where I'm from and you were in that world in that time period, you know who I'm talking about. Again, it's a small town. So I have had multiple people come to me and tell me that he has done that to them. And I've never said that on social media before. I've always just said he was my dealer because I didn't have experience in that. He didn't do that to me. What he did do to me is pistol whip me. He kind of grabbed me up a couple of times because there was this instance where I tried to get out of his car because he was just talking crazy to me. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. I'll fucking get it, dude. Because there were times where I would owe him money and then I would always get it back. So I'm like, you're not going to talk to me fucking crazy. Like, I always pay my debt. I'll get it. But it makes me sick to my stomach that I know that this man is serving prison time and he gets to walk the yard. He gets to, get all of the amenities. He gets respect because of who he is and because he was, just a high-ranking drug dealer at that time. They estimated in their investigation that if you were using, at that time it was raw oxy powder, in upstate New York, there was an 85% chance you were getting it from this person or something like that. Very, very high likelihood that it was coming in from him and his people. And I just happened to leave that state before the investigation was closed and a bunch of people got arrested. If I remember correctly, I was in prison in Arkansas when it finally happened and when he was arrested and all of that. I have always shied away from sharing what I know to be true about this person because it's just, I didn't experience it, so I didn't talk about it. But it's something I think about every single time I think about him or a video pops up on my feed from like on this day. Remember this day 3 years ago when you talked about this? I think about this all of the time. All the time. I think about, seeing certain things and certain red flags and not saying anything. I think about the times where other women would get in the car and they'd be afraid and I wouldn't call him out on it and I wouldn't stand up to him and I wouldn't say anything. I didn't know what was going on, but, I'm not dumb. I knew well enough to know like they're afraid. And especially when I saw the person that introduced me to him, she is not afraid. Like this person I've never seen her scared ever. Very tough individual. I knew something was off then and I didn't trust my gut and I didn't listen to my gut. I didn't try to call him out. I didn't try to, help anyone that was, dealing with him at all at that time. All I'm saying is I think I could have done more. I definitely could have done more. There is nothing glamorous or gangster about being in that world, selling drugs, selling guns, going to prison. There's nothing gangster about that. Prison is not gangster. Prison's horrible and depressing and dehumanizing. The gangster thing is getting out of prison and getting your life together, getting custody of your kids, getting out of that life, staying sober, being successful, building a life that you don't have to numb from because addiction starts and stops with pain. The root cause of addiction is trauma and pain. I have also said in previous videos that selling drugs is a victimless crime, and I believed that in my heart and soul. I really did. That's because when you go to prison for selling drugs, there's no victims listed in your paperwork. But I cause a lot of harm in my community and I cause a lot of damage within my family and my friends. And I've buried more people than I want to even count. Almost 2 years ago, my cousin Sonny passed away. He had battled with addiction his whole life. So I'm very proud that I have made it out of that life, because there was a huge chance that I would be in the ground right now, And as much as people want to talk shit in the comment section about, oh, you should be dead, like that's crazy to wish that on somebody. There's nothing funny about addiction. And I know that I do talk about it in a lighthearted way sometimes. That's just my brain. I am not a very serious person. I'm more serious on YouTube than any other platform or in real life because I can look back and laugh about some of the mistakes that I've made. I can look back and see how far I've come as a person. And I'm proud of the progress that I've made, but there's nothing funny about that life and about hurting people in my community and even in my own family. I'm going to leave you with a statistic. Rape is the most underreported crime. 63% of sexual assault are not reported to police. Only 12% of child sexual abuse is reported to authorities. Factoring in unreported cases, only about 6% of rapists ever see a day in jail. If rape is reported, there is a 50.8% chance of an arrest. If an arrest is made, there's an 80% chance of prosecution. Out of every 1,000 cases, 310 are reported, and 25 out of every 1,000 rapists end up in prison. It's estimated that every 68 seconds an American is sexually sexually assaulted. These cases are extremely difficult to prosecute, extremely difficult, if they're even reported. So to get a conviction and get sent to prison for it, chances are they did that. So I just felt like sharing this story with you guys today because every single time I'm reminded of it or a memory pops up or I repost a video about that, I can't help but to think that this just isn't right. He shouldn't be in prison for that, for drugs. He should be in prison for rape, sexual assault. And it just goes to show you how broken our system is. I'm going to end today's video here. As always, I love you guys. Stay safe, stay in recovery, whatever that looks like to you. I do still have the link to groups in the description box of this video. I still love them and their program. They believe in harm reduction, Cali sober, whatever it is, and they don't kick you out if you make a mistake because you're human. They figure out why that happened so that they can help you make it better from the beginning of your recovery for forever. And they don't just help you with medicine. They help you with a driver's license or clothes or trying to find housing or getting on assistance, all of those things. They help you in every way that they possibly can. And if they can't help you, they will find somebody that can. I love you guys.